took the jobless class for an 88. From that time on, I go all over the United States. And the one thing, if you're sitting at the kitchen table and people bring up World Dairy Expo, they mention the word, they'll either say, I go there every year, or I want to go there every year, or occasionally, I got to get there before I die. That's just how it is. And it doesn't matter where you go, and it's amazing how far they'll come. They want to be there every year, and I think that's what the other industries can see, that they're going to be there, and for whatever the purpose is. Even though I'm not involved in those other things, I think that the dairy thing has been a draw for them too.
Well, I deal with quite a few of the commercial exhibitors with the Japanese, like in manufacturing and stanchions and all that. And those guys know, that they pay the dough to make the show go. I mean, because those commercial exhibits are a big financial indicator. But they also know if the dairy cows weren't there, there'd be no show. Mm-hmm. Because there's no other place. So they go to Tulare out there, that show and all that. But you don't get the foreign people coming through like you do. But this thing generates with the foreign attendance and international appeal, and those guys all know that the cow show is why people are there, and they just get to reap the benefits of that attendance. It's amazing where these commercial exhibitors are coming from. Canada, I mean, all over Canada. And there's a lot of those guys come down, and just commercial guys. Agro-plastics were one. Mm-hmm. I mean, they put up a big deal, and then all the farm tractors, everything.
When did you start seeing international people at the show?
Well, Mr. Utsunomiya started coming right away, right? What year did Mr. Utsunomiya from Japan come? What year did Mr. Utsunomiya come from Japan?
Well, he came...
First or second year?
Well, that all goes back to when they started calling it International Dairy Show. I said down, why don't we see if they've got a list of all the different countries that have an organization. So I wrote to... what's his name? Hetts.
Rumler?
And asked him if they had the names, was such a thing as a list of the presidents and the executive secretaries of all the states or countries that had hosting organizations. And I was just shocked when he sent me a list, and it was quite long. And so I wrote a letter to each one individually, because most of the time your president is not near the secretary's office anyway. If that's the way it goes in the Holstein organization anyhow. And I think I'm sure he was the first one. And that's what year it was, I'm not positive. And then the second year, I think he came with his wife, because I had pictures of him and the two of them sitting on the show trunk. Do you have access to the interviews they did for many years at Expo of all these different exhibitors and major people that Miles McCary did after he went to Florida? And he made those interviews, and I never went down to the library to listen to him, but every year he was around interviewing.
You mean for Dairy Shrine?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he was interviewing.
If Mac did it, that's where he ended up.
Yeah, he was interviewing him at Expo, because he even called me one year, and I don't know when that was, but for an interview. But then they had all those tapes, and I understand they've done away with those, but I don't know if they're available.
They're all digitized now.
They've got them.
Yep.
They are.
Oh, yeah.
So I was going to say you could get a lot of this early information that you're interested in from some of those breeders and showmen, that because he did it for all day long. He was doing that, so I don't know.
And we had a lot of Japanese, just trainees.
Yeah,
I mean, from all the herds had trainees. I mean, everybody, major herd in Wisconsin had one or two or three. I mean, we'd have three, or one year we had four at once. Bachman always had 3 or 4, but I mean, those guys would start coming, and then they'd go home and they'd come back on their own.
Mexico, I think.
Mexico was big.
The second year, what I asked them for was if they'd bring something as a gift for the first place winners or the champion winners, whichever they wanted to designate to of each each class, and what they were interested in. I was surprised at that point that there were that many organizations around the world, but there were.
Yeah, I know Dad judged Querétaro show, the national show in Mexico in '68. And I believe Rosenda Aja, I don't know if he was the president then, but Rosenda and Dad got to know each other. And I think that's when Mexico started. Right after that, they started coming up in quite a few at that point in time. Plus, there were quite a few guys around here, like the mayor boys and stuff, that were selling cattle to Rancho Rican. That was
Pepe Gonzalez.
Pepe Gonzalez, he's still alive and still going strong down there. They don't show anymore. They always bring a few cows to the show, but just north of Querétaro. But those guys were all their sons. They'd all come, and to this day they're still coming. I mean, and a lot of times they own. This year they own the junior champion heifer. They owned her with Aaron Eaton, my clients, but or last year I should say.
Doris, how did you get the idea to write these letters to the other Holstein organizations around the world?
I don't know where I got it, but anyway, I just thought when they were talking about a World Dairy Expo, that one way to get the people and let them present something from their country to the winner, whatever they had. So I just did it. I Type Depot and separate back then. I had a typewriter, but.
Yeah, Hokkaido Holstein Association's pretty much been giving a trophy as long.
Huh?
Hokkaido Holstein Association, Hokkaido Holstein Association has been giving a trophy for a very long time. I'm not sure when that first sponsorship came.
Mexico's shortly after that, but I don't know myself how many more came. I never was hardly at the show. I was a gopher to keep things going at home and shuffling the Japanese boys back and forth because they all wanted to be over there. Oh gosh!
Doris, your forward response explains a lot in the early days. I just did it. I mean, I think a lot of people, including Alan, that's it needed to get done, and people did it.